Well, hello, friends. Welcome back to Business Besties Live. I got business partner here, Mindy Baxton. She is
What's
my
up,
sister in
friends?
Christ and business bestie in real life. And friends, we were talking about something last night in Unstuck and Unstoppable. And I said, we've got to bring this to Business Besties Live.
Yeah.
So if you don't know, we run a boot camp a couple of times a year called Unstuck and Unstoppable. And we are just breaking down all the foundational things that we saw over 3,800 coaching calls between the two of us that ladies were missing. They were missing some foundations that were causing them to get stuck. And so we have this boot camp. And so what we want to talk about today is, drum roll please, why nobody wants your PDF.
Yeah, say it, Kara.
Yeah. So we see so many women get tripped up either because they spent all their time, energy, money, and heart into creating this freebie that
Yeah.
somebody can download. And then, Mindy, what happens?
Well, nobody downloads it, or maybe like the 7 downloads that you do have, like 3 of them are from your mom, 1 of them is from yourself, and like it just doesn't get any traction and action, right? It's
Yeah.
so common. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've got a slew of them sitting in your Google Docs and you're feeling frustrated, defeated, and not knowing what to do next, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And the flip side of that is we see a lot of women who they don't want to start showing up online because they say, I have nothing to offer.
Yeah.
Friends, you have yourself to offer. You have things that you can offer. You have services, you have products. You don't always have to have a freebie. So we just really want to get into that today and talk about it right now in the age of AI, where everyone and their mother is using AI. They can quickly run an AI search and usually get most of the information, if not all of it, that's in your PDF. So there's certain businesses that a PDF still will work for, and we'll talk about that. But we want to talk about if that doesn't work, what to do instead. So
Yeah.
this is going to be part 1 of part 2, because I think this conversation is going to go a little bit long. So Mindy, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I really think, there's kind of the lie that we all believe that we were taught just to give more value, more trust, more sales. Like, or rather, giving more value equals more trust equals more sales. And there's certainly some truth to that. But what that led us to is making the checklist. We made the guide, the 17-page workbook. We really like went all in on that. But back to Kara's point, and this is what I love, Kara, about getting to work together with you and the work that we do at our boot camps and mastermind and all the things. And we talked about this again last night in our boot camp, that this technology piece is forever changing. And nobody's just like waking up just craving more information. They are looking for transformation. They are looking for a result, and they're looking to see, are you the person that's going to give that to them? Right?
Mhm.
Is that what they're going to get from you?
Yeah. And I just want to say that has come out of being burned by lots and lots of marketers.
Yeah.
You have been sold to these, buy my $27, workshop, buy my $47 workshop. By the end of next year, you're going to retire and your husband's going to retire and, your kids can go to private school and all the things like we've gotten these big dreams on empty promises. And
Yeah.
so we have really, I know everyone is using the word trust recession. And I hate to just call it that, but we really are in a trust recession.
Yeah. Yeah. And really in the land of marketing and on social media, you really need to look at, and I'm kind of getting ahead of ourselves here, but what sets you apart in the marketplace. And again, focusing on that transformation and over delivering. Like, unfortunately, to Kara, to your point, it's like we see marketers over promising and under delivering. And we want to invert that and we want to over deliver and really under promise. And
Mhm.
so I think, again, obviously you and I teach this and we train this, PDFs and freebies and those things, any way to capture a lead, that is really, really important. So don't get us wrong on this. That's not what we're saying. Like, don't do it. But we're going to really uncover why your PDF is just sitting unread and nobody's opting into it.
Yeah. And then a lot of times if they are opting into it, it sits in their inbox because
Mhm.
they have already forgotten about it before it ever gets received. So I do want to talk about businesses that is still working for. I want to right out of the gate, let's talk about that. There are some businesses that we see online and some topics that we see online that people are struggling with and they need help. I've got a client right now. She has a lice course teaching parents how to get rid of lice at home, prevent it from coming back. And if she makes a post and she has a call to action, comment such and such underneath, most of the time people are not going to comment because they don't want Susie from high school to see that they just commented and their kid has lice. So in situations like that, I can also think of like marital issues or, more personal perimenopause and menopause things where there's just some privacy that you want to keep and some, I don't know how to say the word,
Anonymity?
there you go.
That's
That's
what I'm
the
here
word.
for, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. I'm done.
Yeah. I swear I lost my vocabulary when I got pregnant the first time. But yeah, so there are still some times that I do recommend that our coaching students have some type of PDF that people can download. We've got somebody that does an art course. Having that experiential where they can do a project start to finish and they can watch you do it and do it along with you, there's some really good benefit to that. But with that doesn't just come one PDF, it's usually some learning, some video that they're getting to experience, which is going to take us to our next point. We want to talk about experiential learning and getting people to see what that transformation is going to look like when they work with you instead of giving them just a PDF. So, Mindy, you
Yeah.
want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, it's like, why did you want the PDF in the first place? Like, think about, okay, let's get into the mindset of you as you're scrolling online. I want you guys to stop and think, like, what caused me to click on their opt-in, to click on their, or to drop the call to action that you dropped, the keyword that you dropped, right? I'm opting into a lot of stuff. Like, I want to see people's funnels and I want to see how they operate. And I'm doing that quite often. But and the reason why I'm doing that is, a matter of fact, Megan Hall, a gal that Kara and I both follow, she's an incredible marketer. I opted into something of hers, free workshop is what it was. She was putting on a free workshop. I wanted to see her process, but also I was very interested in what she was giving me. Why? Because she's very bold in her marketing. She stands out in what she gives. She stands out in the marketplace, which that is a key for somebody right now that you need to hear, that it is your uniqueness that sets you apart. Okay, stop trying to be like everybody else. But I also knew that there was a transfer. I watch her content so close and she gives so many tips and tricks. There's already been some transformation for me just watching her free content. And so, like, to Kara's point, I'm already experiencing kind of what it's like to work with her. I'm already experiencing, some of the ways that she markets and what she must teach in some of her classes. Like, I'm already having that experience. And so you bet I want to opt into what she's giving me. And yes, from there, then I end up in a $17 funnel. And then from there, she upsells me another 27. And before you know it, I'm spending $150 on all of these things. But why, Kara? Because I've had that experience and the transformation already before I even click the button.
Yep. And I want to talk just a second about something Mindy said about your uniqueness, because right now, the most important thing that you can do online with AI in mind is to create your personal brand. If someone else could take your post and verbatim post it and it is not geared toward your personal brand enough. It should not be vanilla enough that you could insert someone else in your industry that does what you do.
Mm-hmm.
This needs to be unique to you. And so, looking at all the differentiators, figure out what sets you apart from, whoever your competition is. And I don't even like to use the word competition because at the end of the day, I like to collaborate with people that are in that same industry as me because they're going to have people that come to them that are not good fits. Guess what? I'm going to have people that come to me that are not good fits.
Mm.
Being able to refer those people is huge. And you can learn from people that are in your industry. I'm in 2 masterminds, and there are people that do exactly what I do, but we do it so differently. We're in different niches, markets. We talk differently. We nurture our clients differently. We interact with our clients differently, and there's room for everyone. And so I really want you, when you're making your social media post and you're building that online presence, make sure that your competitor couldn't pop up that same post and it land for them.
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah.
So and I want to talk for just a minute about what this looks like experientially, right? We were talking with a coaching student last night on Unstuck and Unstoppable, and she does service-based products. And she says, I know I need to have a course. I know I need to have something people can download. But what she does is branding. She makes people's brands beautiful, pretty, and profitable. Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
going to use her words, pretty and profitable. You can look at her content all day long. But if you are someone who has been burned in the past, you may not be ready to fully invest. And so last night when we were talking to her, I said, if it were me, knowing that the ultimate goal is to get that person as a private client who you're doing all of their branding for book launches, for course launches, whatever it is, I would start with a $10 paid workshop where it's very curated, where they're going to leave with an asset so they can now visualize their brand and then make them an offer to do more pieces of that in that
Yeah.
same as done for you so that they can experience even further what it's like so that eventually that leads to them wanting to hire you. And so you have to look at what is my ultimate goal here? I used to have workshops and freebies for my brand. I do tech. I take someone's idea and I take it all the way to a Stripe link so that they can start getting paid on that idea. But what I found was getting people on a call, doing some fact finding, asking them about their idea, figuring out how does this look, letting them know the things we could automate versus the places that they're still going to need to insert themselves. That at that point, they have a better understanding of what it's going to be like when we're done working together. So they have a better understanding of, is this an investment that is wise for me to make? And at that
Mhm.
same time, I can say, this isn't a good fit for the two of us to work together. Let me send you to XYZ, whatever, business that is. This would be a better fit for you.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of integrity that comes out of that.
Mhm.
And I know we all want to run our businesses with integrity, and I want to be able to sleep at night knowing that my customers are happy when they've worked with me, and I don't want them to leave my world until they're happy. And so getting that experiential, like figuring out how someone can experience you in the way that ultimately you want them to work with you
Yeah,
is the
and so
key.
that can come from, again, so much of what I see is the lack of the content creation. That is a way for someone to experience really who you are, and back to your point, it's like, where's the differentiator? What sets this person apart? And so again, your PDF, and again, we're not knocking PDFs, we're just saying it's the landscape has changed with the technology now, right? So be mindful of that. You might wanna pivot and decide, "You know what? I'm gonna actually do a little workshop." Or you might wanna pivot, how else can people experience what you have? Get creative. Pop into ChatGPT and let them know, kinda like, "Here's my challenge and nobody's opting in and I wanna really strategize. Can you give me, 3 to 5 options for how people can experience what it's like to work with me?" And again, welcome to entrepreneurship, right, Kara? Like, we
Yep.
test, we tweak, we test, we tweak, we run the play consistently for, like, 90 days to
Mhm.
see whether or not, all right, I've been posting about this, I've been going live about this, maybe it's not a need right now for someone. So then what do? You pivot.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
maybe it's not a PDF anymore. Maybe it's a quiz. Maybe it's a survey now. Maybe it's, I don't know, like you said, a workshop, something like that. So people can come in and experience you. And when you over deliver, man, in this day and age, that's what sets a lot of people apart. Over deliver on what you're
It really is.
delivering.
It really is. And I want to make one quick point before we cut it for
Yeah.
part 2 because I wanna come back with a lot of examples, and I wanna really talk about what that looks like product-based versus service-based and all of that. But I just wanna say that people have already invested so much, and they're so disappointed, and they've been let down so much that
Hmm.
when you over-deliver, friend, you are gonna get referrals, you're gonna
Yeah.
get testimonials, all of that becomes content. So, Mindy, are you okay if we pause here?
Yep.
And we're going to come back for part 2. So, y'all join us for part 2.
Yeah. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye.